And there I was in Italy, like hammering the bearing in the silly me wheel. So why not hammering the bearings, you might ask? I bought this wheel as a test because I am going to the Berlin Marathon and I wanted to try something new for it. I know that these wheels that have an aluminium core and have a very hard compound, 88A, do transfer the energy that is put and they don't waste any of it. They're good for speed, even though they're a bit heavier than the usual ones. I was basically in Italy when I received them. You know, like they came with their own bearings and spacers, and I was ready to put them on and go to skate. However, I tried to put them in and I realized that the resistance was insane because I couldn't simply push them in, as this was metal versus metal, and it's very easy for it to get stuck if you don't completely put it, you know, like in a very perpendicular way. So what happened there is that I hammered the bearings inside. It's literally what everybody would have advised me against. I forgot that piece of information, and there I was in Italy, like hammering the bearing in the silly me wheel. So why not hammering the bearings, you might ask? Because the little spheres that are inside the bearing that you can see here are very delicate, and any kind of pressure that is to the center of the bearing is going to deform the inside structure of the bearing. The bearing made a horrible noise every time I tried to turn, and they would just go straight, but they are clearly ruined. If you hammer in place your bearing, they are not gonna come back to be awesome. The moment you hammer on the center, you are absolutely ruining the bearing. And of course, I had the Iqon bearing, which has even a raised center, so that means that I just hammered into the center, like not even apologize for that. It's not like they're not like a normal plastic wheel where, you know, you put the bearing in, super easy and super easy to take out, right? The wheels that we're talking about today are absolutely strong, rigid, and they are inflexible in the sense, so it's not possible to remove the bearing by, you know, applying the pressure up, like if you were to open a beer bottle. No. And I'm going to use this one, which is, you know, nothing too fancy, to show you how to remove the bearings. Insert the tool this way in order to remove the bearing that is on the other side. And by doing that, I insert it diagonally and I try to catch the outside ring of the bearings that is on the opposite side, and then push it that way quite strongly. It needs, of course, a lot of strength, which I don't have today, but bang! Okay, so this is the bearing, spacer, and the other bearing. There we go. Easy. Job done. Yes, all good. What? I saw something shiny flying at the speed of sound. Okay. Chop. All right. Okay. Bang. So what I'm going to also show right now is actually a method that you could do for inserting the bearings into the aluminum core wheel. Basically, it consists of using a heat gun to heat the core of the aluminum wheel. Just 30 seconds, nothing to, you know, burn the urethane. And that way the metal expands, and putting the bearing inside, which the bearing is going to be at normal temperature, or even some people put them in the freezer to shrink them, which I wouldn't really go to extent of. In this situation, the bearing is going to fit even better because the heat temporarily expands the core of the of the aluminium core. So not only you do that, but then you also make sure to really grease all around the inside of the aluminum wheel and also around the bearing. Don't worry about the spacer, there is no need to lubricate any of that. But yes, what you want to do if you really have troubles with your own aluminum core wheels is to try to also heat the core. Really like 30 seconds, even less, very little at a time. Make sure you don't burn anything. And if you see in the video, I'm also using a metal cylinder around the bearing area because I'm still using a hammer, but any blunt force applied at the center is going to be detrimental to the durability of the bearing. But if we have to put pressure, which wasn't really strong in this situation because of the lubrication and because of all the other steps that we took. If we apply pressure, you can only apply it to the outer ring of a bearing. So the metal cylinder that you see that I'm using at the bottom of the hammer actually prevent the force of the hammer to hit the center. In the final part of the video, I show how I put the bearings in with just grease and a hex tool and no other equipment without heating. And let me specify that maybe with other brands it's necessary to heat the core, but with the Iqon alloy wheels that I'm using, I actually had no trouble by just lubricating them very well to put in the bearings in the aluminum core. With this bearing, they are not only different because they have the little crown, they are also different because they have one less sphere than the usual bearings. The usual bearings inside have like 7 spheres, but the Iqon one has only 6, which are larger. So they, being larger, they are like stronger and they don't rust as easily, because if there is rust, interference, something inside, the sphere inside is already bigger, so it doesn't get completely rust that fast. Does it make sense? I hope it does. It makes sense, but I'm not good at explaining. This is literally my first video. Why am I even... Encouragement works. I forgot to lubricate the inner layer. Okay, second one. Yeah, I like what I feel. Yes, this feels amazing. You also do the thing that you push with your plexus and then you're dead for 2 hours after you do these manly jobs, because there's no hope for me. Yes, so shout out to bearing press. I don't have one. Can somebody send me one? I don't know how they compare. I'm sure that it's like a really good tool if you were to do this job a lot, like even if, like, especially if you're a company, I think, like, definitely bearing press. Many people swear by them, but I don't have space. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna have aluminum core wheels forever, because these are really nice, but they're also more expensive than traditional wheels, and I'm pretty happy with traditional wheels. Need to change my wheel quite a lot because I actually wear down my wheels very fast due to what I usually do on skate is actually really hard wearing for the wheel. So to recap, my best idea to make sure that you are like able to remove the bearings from the aluminum wheel is going to be make sure they're well lubed inside the rim of the aluminum core and around the bearing itself. No need to lubricate the spacer, of course, don't do that. But I think that if you insert them and they're well lubricated all around, removing them should be easy. Said that, I never I've been riding them a while before removing them the first time, but I did never ride on rain or something, or like, you know, for long period of time or very sandy climates. So I don't know if like riding them for months or until they're completely used up would change how easily they might come off, the bearing might come off. So that is something that I'm gonna discover by myself. But for now, yeah, I actually had a good time removing them, so not a big deal. So I really hope this helps somebody. So thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Skate safe and skate awesome.